here with Braylin Jones ahead of the Millersville Open. Braylin, you have the distinction of forever being the first wrestler to pick up a win in Edinburgh women's wrestling history. What does that mean to you? And kind of as a broader look, what's that mean for the program?
Well, as for the program, I think it really signifies that we're here to win. We're here to get a program started. And having the first win for me means I get to be part of that momentum. I get to be part of that movement to get a brand new team here on campus and to help teach new girls and help progress this team into something hopefully a whole lot bigger.
You finished with back-to-back wins to kind of close out John Carroll. How do you kind of continue to carry that momentum, into this next meet? Or is it not something that you think about a lot?
I honestly try not to think a lot about my wins and my losses. I definitely like to learn from my wins and my losses both, but as for carrying it into the next tournament, that was the last tournament. This is the next tournament, and I've got to focus more on how those matches are going to roll, not so much on the past, more towards the future of how I'm going to use what I learned and put it into my next matches.
How do you mentally prepare, like on match day?
How I mentally prepare? For me, I just have to remember that, how do you say it? I'm here to have fun just as much as I'm here to win. And for me to just get focused on it, I just kind of tune out everything else. I don't talk to a lot of people. I kind of just get in the zone and watch other matches and just get more in the wrestling mindset of going for that next takedown, going for that next scoring opportunity. And even though the match hasn't started yet, I'm already anticipating what I intend to do in the match.
Awesome. Now we're gonna do some of the fun questions.
Okay.
Okay. So, what's your go-to hype song?
My go-to hype song? If it's not rock, my go-to would definitely have to be Bowling for Soup's 1985.
All right. What is your pre-match routine look like?
My pre-match routine is usually listening to some music. Listen to music, kind of focusing again on watching and the matches and just getting in that focused mindset of what's going on in the wrestling and not trying to think of anything going on maybe in my personal life or, anything else. It's really just I'll jump around a little bit, keep my body warm as people win, getting more and more ready for it. As soon as that last person wins, your headgear goes on and you go out to the mat.
Favorite in-season meal?
In-season meal? Ooh. I love fish and chicken and with Brussels sprouts.
Favorite out-of-season meal?
Out-of-season meal? I love ribs and anything barbecue, but a big hunkin' rack of ribs.
All right, so here with head coach Ryan Cook ahead of the Millersville Open. Coach, just a quick look back at last weekend, or 2 weekends ago now. You have your first competition as a new program. Both wrestlers come home with wins. How do you assess last weekend from a wrestling perspective, but then also kind of as a bigger picture program perspective?
I think we had great results at the John Carroll tournament last weekend, or 2 weekends ago. Sorry, I screwed all that up. Edit. No, I think we had great results at the last competition. We had that first competition in the program history kind of hanging overhead. So that's behind us now. We did good. We had some first wins. We had some first losses in the program's history. It's kind of, we're excited for the build. And maybe it's slow at the beginning, but it's going to pick up speed here. We had a great 10, 12 days of practice leading into this next competition. So we're excited to take some of those wins and losses, some data points from the last competition into this one and see where we're at now.
What might be, one of those points of emphasis that you learned from last weekend or 2 weekends ago as you go into Millersville? What are some of those lessons?
A lot of it, so for one of the girls, it was her first competition ever, right? So Heidi, that was the first time out there. We had a lot of stuff that she needed to learn in the wrestling IQ department of it, like trying how to manage a wrestling match and stuff like that. So we had a lot of those situations. We also, we did a lot of really good things, right? There's some things that we need to do better as a staff, like helping them finish matches out. We had some early leads that didn't end up being wins at the end, so we're kind of working on those right now.
So now, Edinburgh, rich wrestling tradition. But women's wrestling, freestyle a little bit different. So for some of the maybe less initiated into women's wrestling, what are some of the differences that people will see when they tune in and watch Edinburgh women's wrestling?
There's going to be a lot of differences. The scoring is going to be vastly different. So with the folk style, collegiate style wrestling, you're going to see a lot of control. They're top and bottom on the mat. They're there to control each other, hold them down. In freestyle wrestling, it's just that. It's a little more free. We're looking to score big points, score points quick and often. We're going to be on our feet for the majority of the match. There's not really any control on top and bottom, all right, in parterre, freestyle. Like, we're just looking for quick points. You don't score in the next 12 to 15 seconds, the referee's going to start you back up, and we're back on our feet. So matches can end very, very quickly. A tech fall is 10 points over the other person. 10-point lead is a tech fall, so that those can add up quickly and end a match relatively fast.
What does a successful Millersville Open look like for you and your wrestlers?
Well, we're excited to have all three of our girls compete. Zoe Sample had a setback in training, so she's ready to go. She's going to be out there competing at Millersville. She'll get her first competitions in. Successful Millersville tournament, we're going to put a bunch of wins in the win column. All right, I think we have one wrestler that could, vie for the title there. I know she's got a lot of experience. Braylin has a lot of experience. She can go out there and win the tournament. For the other two girls, it's like getting more experience, getting more comfortable on the mat. And there's a part of it where it's getting, like, the coaching staff has to get comfortable with the athletes as well. So we're kind of continuing to work on that relationship in competition. Right, it's different. The practice relationship is different than the competition relationship. So we're working on that. Millersville, it's going to be a good tournament. I think there's 5 different teams that are in a region, in Region 2, that we'll get to see. There's a bunch of ranked girls. There's going to be a decent number of high school athletes that in the Open, testing them. We actually have one of the Edinburgh commits. She's going to be wrestling there, so it's going to be great to get eyes on her in competition as well. So success, we're going to measure in a bunch of different ways. We'll get some experience and we'll get some wins.
All right. Thanks, Coach, and good luck.
Yep. Thank you.